Oh, it's fucking raining now in Island Sanctuary. What the fuck? Bro, I just started watering my plants and now it's not even needed. It's a fucking joke, I'm telling you. Definitely gonna call this my last game just purely to out of spite and not having to do anything else afterwards. It has been enjoyable. But I do want to mention it again. I've said it during the PvP match, but it was very hard for me to actually put out in words what I wanted regarding the content in Endwalker. Like I mentioned, I've basically taken a break for a year. So in September, end of September, I took a break because I was getting a little bit bored. And I've been playing the game for like months on end without break. It was from February 2022 till September 2022, and I would put in hours. So it's kind of my fault. I know it's my problem. So I've kind of, like I said, aside from hardcore raiding, which maybe I'll do it at some point, but it's just not one of those aspects I'm as interested in. I've done some extremes, but not savage. When it comes to content in Endwalker, the issues I have are basically... I came back 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago I came back to this game, and since last week I'm already having trouble finding shit to do. The Island Sanctuary, I was able to level it up from level 10, because I stopped at that point, level 10 to this right now in a month by passively doing the workshop and not giving a shit about this aside from it. The rates are like one-time content you get through. I've also done, and then obviously if you do the roulettes and stuff, I've also already done the variant mount farm. So by doing all the 12 routes for Silden and Mount Rocken, I think, I don't know where they are exactly right now. Yeah, Silky and there he is, Burabura Chochin. I've done my leveling was already done. Hell, I've even been able to get the big crown now because I've finally started doing something crafters related, and I was suddenly able to become a trade mentor. So now I got the big crown. Not that I give a shit about it, but what I'm basically trying to say is that aside from that content, everything that I'm doing right now is just not Endwalker content. So there's barely anything from Endwalker that I'm currently actually doing. I say this as I'm fucking standing in Island Sanctuary. You get my point, though. I've been farming for fucking resistance weapons again. I've been working on Eureka weapons. I've been doing treasure maps. That could partially also be called Endwalker content because I sometimes do Shadowbringers, sometimes I do Endwalker. I partially also do S ranks or A train hunts because it's partially Shadowbringers and Endwalker, and sometimes I do from the old content purely for me to get Aetherite tickets and stuff. You get my point though. I've been doing all this shit and there's like barely anything Endwalker related. 85 to 90% of the content I'm currently doing is actually not related to Endwalker, and I just keep falling back to old content. But I've been doing that last year and I've been doing that the previous years, and it's everything I've just been doing, and I needed something from this expansion to do. My biggest pet peeve, and I know people will some people will disagree, some people will agree, is actually relic weapons. I think they did mention they weren't gonna do another Boja or another Eureka, so they did know that. What I didn't know is the fact that it's just getting your causality tombstones and just get the weapon. And I'm saying this as of 6.4. I don't know what the 6.55 Mandeville weapon will be like. But it's like, for me, when I finished Shadowbringers, Boja, and later on Eureka, because I came to this game during Shadowbringers period, Boja and Eureka were time-consuming moments that I loved spending my time in outside of the main story. It's content I like to do after finishing the expansion. I love doing the content because it was the current content. Boja was Shadowbringers content and everyone was doing it. And even, fucking hell, Eureka is still fucking popular. People are still doing it. I never have trouble finding people in Eureka. It's always busy and I love it because Eureka is one of my favorite places in this whole game. I mainly loved it because at some point I gained a lot of friends, and a lot of people wanted to do roulettes, and a lot of people wanted to do this content with me. And Eureka was one of those moments where they couldn't actually fucking whisper to me, and I was just in zen. But I was in peace. I had the nice music. I had the nice farming methods. It was just me, my farming, sometimes getting into a group for the fates, and just do my thing. I kind of wish that to happen to Endwalker, even though they said they wouldn't do it. But I also kind of wish there to be some other form of content outside of Bosha where you could get your relic. Something that could force me to, not force me, but at least make me do something related to the expansion. I'm not saying the Shadowbringer relics aren't any better, because Shadowbringers... I love the Stormblood relics because they were forced within Eureka. It's content in Stormblood you had to do. When it comes to Shadowbringers relics, I had a bit of my pet peeve because you were forced to do fucking Circus Tower, basically. You were forced to do level 70, you were forced to basically do, what was the name of the dungeon? Hell's Lid, to do your raw emotions, and also the Anti-Tower, which is Heaven's Ward and Stormblood content. Now, I know you could potentially do it in Bosha, but because it's always chance-based, it was always better for people to do it through old content. And you were kind of partially forced to do it because it's the meta. It's the best method to get it. And I kind of wish they would be forced within Bosha, because then you have to do the content. And it's not bad content at all. I know some people might not like it. Well, fuck them, man. But basically, yeah, it's just... I kind of wish there was something to do within Endwalker, outside of the other expansions, that could make me log in. Because right now I'm just doing my roulettes. I'm getting some gil to get fucking decorations for my house. I do some PvP, and I log out again. And that's kind of it. And I guess I'm just a little bit annoyed and sad that after a year of taking a break, it took me 2 weeks, basically, to get back to a point where I feel like I've done everything. That's kind of it. And I want this to be the MMO that I play, but I keep having fucking blockades. I keep having like actual walls that keep pushing me back because it's missing something. That's my issue. I'll still play it from time to time. I still play it a lot anyways. I'm struggling. That's the reason. I hope 6.5 gives me something, because the fucking... I know there's a new variant coming. That can be done in 2 days, because I finished most of my dungeons in a couple of days anyways. And then the trial is a one-time thing, and then the alliance raid will be a one-time thing, unless you want to get a glamour. And that's kind of it. I want there to be something. That's my opinion about Endwalker anyways. I just seen you were on. Well, I'm about to end it, because it's very late.